Alright, welcome along to the channel. We're going to get into a swift little tips video here, and this one was actually a suggestion from a subscriber, so shout out to you, Stephanie. We're going to get into this right now. This is Master Your Emotions. I've got 5 tips on how to stop overreacting and stay calm. I think this is going to help a lot of us out there, so let's get into it. Alright, so number 1 on this is to pause and breathe. Take a moment to breathe deeply before responding. This helps calm your mind and gives you the time to think clearly. Number 2 is to assess the situation. Evaluate the context of what triggered your emotion. Ask yourself if it's truly worth the emotional response. Number 3, and an old favourite of mine, is to practice mindfulness. Engage in mindfulness techniques such as meditation or journaling to develop greater awareness of your emotions and your reactions. 4 is to communicate effectively. When you're feeling overwhelmed, express your feelings calmly and clearly. This can prevent misunderstandings and reduce the urge to overreact. And number 5 is to reframe your thoughts. Challenge negative thoughts by reframing them in a more positive or neutral light. This can help you respond more rationally to situations. So there you go, some tips on how to not overreact and some ways of sort of dealing with it. I think this will help a lot of people out there. These days, we're all under quite a bit of pressure, to be fair. 2025, they're recording this video January 2025. At this stage, the whole situation financially, yeah, even politically at this point, and I don't talk about politics, it's not one of my things, it's just something that I'm not really interested in, but you can't help but kind of take it in. You know, just it's a tough time for a lot of people. We're humans at the end of the day. We're emotional creatures, and it's very, very easy to let your emotions bubble to the surface and let that overreaction happen, and all hell breaks loose. It's just a tough time to be alive. So it's never, in my opinion, it's never been more important to work out a way to keep yourself calm and not overreact to situations. A lot of people will deal with their stress by deflecting it from themselves onto you. An example of that is there's a guy I work with, he's got a job. I always say I work with him, he's got a job. He's got 3 jobs all at the same time. Like he's constantly running from his full-time job to a part-time job, then another part-time job somewhere else, and he's literally just, the only time he's at home is whenever he's sleeping, and he's getting up and going out again. And he's one of these guys that is constantly, you know, hitting everybody around him with like sarcastic comments and whatnot, and he comes across as one of these guys that's just trying to get a reaction out of people, and I'm seeing it more and more. So that's just one personal example that I've seen, but I've seen countless others, even out in public. People are constantly these days just trying to wind everybody else up. So it's a time where you do need to work out some ways of, you know, keeping those emotions of your own in check, and you never feel guilty for having emotions. You know, we're emotional creatures. That's only natural. But don't let yourself get pulled into a scenario where you're going to explode on someone because of something they have done to try it. And they're doing it to try and make themselves feel better at the end of the day. But it's just an unhealthy way of doing it, so don't fall for it. Like, you'll see it constantly online too. Like, you always have a keyboard warrior here and there that'll go on to someone, and you know, my way of dealing with that these days is, you know, I don't always respond to them, you know, depending on the ferocity of what the comment is, and you just think, okay, this commenter is just bad news. This is going to be someone that's just going to be a constant pain in the neck. Like, you know, I'll have to hide from channel here on YouTube depending on their what to say or how nasty they are, because you know, if someone is going to be brutal on a first ever comment or something, they're going to be worse and worse as time goes on. So I don't even feel guilty about putting people off me socials anymore. Other times someone will say something smart to me and I'll just online, and I'll just quite calmly respond, well, you're going to sleep better tonight after getting that off your chest, and that usually shuts them down. The people that do that sort of thing want that response out of you, so the best thing that you can do in response to that is not give them the pleasure of that response, that emotional response. That's all they're looking for at the end of the day. So whatever works for you, these tips hopefully will be helpful, but don't just take my word for it. Read up, buy a book or something on how to deal with this situation, and just research it and you find what works for you. But hopefully this video has been a positive foundation for this moving forward. So once again, Stephanie, thank you so much for the suggestion to do this video, and I hope you in particular enjoyed it. I haven't asked for it. So that's going to do it for this one. I will talk to you guys in the next one.